And here we are. It's race day, people. Welcome back to the DFL on. Oh my god, George has already spun. What a way to start off the episode, am I right? Yesterday, we saw George take pole position, and we are back here again today for the actual race. I hope you all enjoyed qualifying yesterday. But it's a race day. It's a 32-lap race. And what are we predicting, people? I know I asked yesterday for you to leave your comments down below to see who would win. But just Peter spun now. Both the Alpines spinning here. It's a bad start for the Alpines. I know it's not, the race start yet. But if this happens in the actual race, imagine. That would be something, but somehow the two Alpines have landed together again. Don't know how that's possible, but here we are, I guess. Yes, George on pole position. Peter starting in P2, Charlie in P3, Preston in P4, and Harry in P5. A reminder for Preston is coming in today with Lando Norris, two reserves, as the two full-time drivers, Callum and Jamie, are not able to make today. An unfortunate time, but hopefully see him back again soon. Same as Alex, and oh my god, I can't remember the name. This is really, really bad at me. This is genuinely, oh yes, same as Alex and Connor. I'm very sorry, Connor. You've only turned up to one race, so it's, it's hard to remember names. Yes, nonetheless, now, it's time for the race. It's time for the Grand Prix. I hope you are all ready for this, because I know I am. Charlie has lined back up. Preston is now coming in. So is Harry. So are the AIs. And so are the two Alpines here. And of course, as per usual, Joe Guan Yu will be the last to line up here. An unfortunate time, but it is what it is. We have 32 laps of racing here today, people. I hope you are ready, because I definitely am. That is for sure. But now, we are about to get underway as Joe has lined back up as well. There he goes. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and it's lights out. And away we go. Probably the quickest go away we've had in a while. But Preston is up to P2. Charlie up to P3. Peter has dropped down to P4. Charlie, now Preston and Charlie battling away for P2 here as well. So is Peter. It's a three-way battle, and because of that, George has managed to escape and get a gap going. But now Harry all the way down to P9. A very unlucky start as well for Harry. But these three guys are going at it. They want positions, but now I think Preston has hit Charlie just, or was it Charlie braking too early? Who knows? But now Preston has been sent down to P7, just ahead of Harry. Will Harry be able to overtake him? Who knows? But now Peter gets back P2, but Charlie will definitely be on the attack. But now George has pulled what is basically is a 2.8, now a 2.7 second gap. Peter is slowly closing it down where he was, but has a 3.1 second gap. He keeps switching, but whether Peter will be able to close that down and get his fourth consecutive win within this league in a row, that would be major. That's all I'm saying, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. George sets the fastest lap with 124.494. Of course, being the first one off the line, always going to set fastest lap, of course. But who knows whether anyone can beat that. But now Charlie and Peter going at it. Charlie goes round on the outside, gets the overtake very cleanly, no contact. Great overtake by Charlie there. But will Peter now bounce back to look to get the overtake? Cannot get it in that corner. But looking round on the outside, still can't get it. Tries to go over the curb, but it did not work. Now under threat by the Mercedes Lewis Hamilton. They've touched, and now Lewis has gone ahead. Peter is falling down P15, 16, 17, he has re-entered the track at P17, overtaking Nicholas Latifi, now up to P16, a very unlucky time for Peter, but I have no doubt that he can get back up without a shadow of a doubt. But now Harry is approaching a potential overtake on the Aston Martin of Sebastian Vettel. Can he get past Vettel here today? Who knows? We are back, sorry about that, a little bit of an incident. George still holds P1 with a 3.3 second gap. Charlie in P2, Preston still holds P4, and Harry still in P7. And Peter is working his way back up now in P15, a 0.8 second gap. He has to climb to get past the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. Can he do it? I'm sure he can. I truly believe he can do it. But who knows? Now George up with a 3.5 second gap. How has he done it? He is growing this gap even more and even more. Whether he can hold this, whether Charlie can come back or not, who knows? I mean, George is looking to extend his championship points gap so he can make sure he wins the championship. But we all know this championship fight is not over yet. Will it be like last season? Will they equal points in Abu Dhabi? That's what we're hoping for. And if any of you are just coming back to the DFL and like, why would you say Abu Dhabi? That's the last race of the season. It's not. I remind you all, Brazil is the last race of the season. The race with a full quali and full race. It didn't happen last season with a full quali, but it is happening this season. I can assure you of that. So do not go anywhere and stay to the end. Why don't you? Because why the hell wouldn't you? But now, who's looking for an overtake? It looks like Preston. It might be going for an overtake. He's closing that gap down to a 0.434 gap. Had to say that, you know I had to. But will he be able to get hold of P3 and potentially catch up to Charlie? That's what I'm sure we're all wondering and we all want to see, because we all want to see the Preston versus Charlie battle again that we always saw back in Season 3. It was great battles all the time. There's some collisions here and there like there was last time out in Singapore, but hopefully no collisions this time. Just a good battle if Preston can catch up. Who knows? But now Harry has managed to get the overtake on Sebastian Vettel up to P6. Nicely done by Harry. Peter gets the overtake on the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. Brilliant overtake. Nicely done. Now looking for the other overtake on the AlphaTauri of Pierre Gasly. Goes round the outside on the AlphaTauri and gets it up to P12. Almost back into points. George sets fast up with 120.335. But a brilliant overtake for Peter. Will he be able to get back into points? I truly hope so. I truly think so. But we'll have to see what happens, of course. But who knows? You're going to have to stick around to the end to find out, of course. But now Preston looks to begin an overtake on the Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton. Oh, Lewis Hamilton spun him out here. A very unlucky time. I think that's the second time it's happened now. And Preston is sent straight back down to P6. He has more work to do, but can he pull it off? Look, George Russell now. The other Mercedes looks to be attacking. Was it Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes or was it George Russell? I may have to get a replay on that. Who knows? I hope the replay is just played and I've just looked really stupid or dumb or something. Who knows? But now Preston up to P7. Peter with a massive recovery up to P10 now. Brilliantly well done by Peter to get back into points to overtake Valtteri Bottas. I know it's Lewis Hamilton because Lewis Hamilton's gone all the way down to P12 now. And a slight collision because Preston is sent all the way down to P16. What the hell is going on with Preston here today? A very unlucky time for him, for sure. But can he get back up? That's the thing. Again, we're all wondering. We need to get a counter on that for sure. Whether I'll do that or not, who knows? But we shall have to wait and see. But now has a 1.7 gap to close on the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll. Can he do it? Can he not? You're going to have to wait to find out. Oh, almost spins over again, of course, the hot tyres. No, actually, he's letting all the AIs pass. He's going into the pits. That makes much more sense. He will have a lot of time to catch up on now. Only being on the mediums, but going in the pits on lap 7. probably going to have to do the two-stop here, I would say. What's he going on to? The hards. I don't think there's any other way to really say it, to be fair. It's the hards. Of course it is. But now, George has a 4-second gap on Charlie. And Harry is all the way up in P4, maybe P3 in a minute, if he can get past the house of Kevin Magnussen. But Harry is also under pressure by the Aston Martin of Sebastian Vettel. Harry just can't seem to lose Sebastian Vettel. But Harry goes in on the outside and gets the overtake. No, not the outside, the inside of Kevin Magnussen. Brilliantly done by Harry. And a nice overtake as well to get him up to P3, back up to that podium position now. Will he be able to hold it? Will he be able to catch up to his teammate of Charlie here? Who knows? I mean, Harry does currently sit in 5th in the championship, but quite far off of Peter. Harry is currently on 75 points, whilst Peter is on 129. So Harry has a lot of work to do if he wants to get higher in the championship. But even so, just being up there and having a McLaren in P7 means that Red Bull will extend their advantage on McLaren this race in the constructors. That will be their main goal, I think. As well as Charlie catching up to George for his second championship. But that's the question we also have to answer. We discussed it last season, but right now we also have the same prospect we had last season. Last season we had Preston fighting for the championship for his second world championship, and Charlie fighting for it for his first. And now you come to season 4, Charlie's fighting for his second, but George is fighting for his first, and George currently leads the championship. So does that mean it'll be another season of the new champion, where we do not see a repeat champion get their second World Drivers' Championship? I mean, that record still hasn't been broken by anyone. Will it be broken by Charlie? Will we claim his second Drivers' Championship this season? I mean, we're how many races we've got left now? We're on round 11, there's 18, so we've got 7 rounds left of the championship now. So, 7 rounds. That's still enough time for Charlie to catch up, but he has slipped out a bit there, which loses him quite a bit of time now to his 6.7 second gap. Not great for Charlie today, I will say, but hopefully he can catch up. We'll have to wait and see, of course. But now, what's going on with Preston? He has to try his best to catch up here. He probably should have just gone the other way instead of cut through every single AI. But he's got a 6.1 second gap to close now on Carlos Sainz. He's currently at P20. Can he get back up? Is it possible for him to get back up here? I think he can, as I believe with anyone could, you know, because I want to see him up there. I want to see those battles. I want to see drivers go head to head, and if having one more driver up there means more battles, then let's get him up there. Why not? But who knows? We'll have to wait and see what happens. But now Peter, in P9 here, looking to get the overtake on the Williams of Alex Albon. Will it be done here? Will it be done on the outside? It can't be looking like it. But coming onto the straight now, both will have DRS, so Peter's DRS will not help him that much. I think he'll be relying on any ERS he has, and he goes round on the inside and gets the overtake up to P8, but Albon tries to fight it back. Will Alex be able to fight it back? I don't think he has been able to. And Peter holds on to P8. He is working his way back up bit by bit here. Will he be able to work his way all the way back up? You're just going to have to sit around and you're going to have to find out, aren't you? Because why the hell wouldn't you? But he has the McLaren of Lando Norris. Could he send Lando, the only McLaren right now, in the points down even further? I mean, that's very, very possible. And if he does, that would be taking away more points from McLaren, which would mean Red Bull get further in the Constructors' Championship away from him. And George has a 119.7, 1-2. Brilliant work by George to create a gap even more. But Peter goes round on the outside of the McLaren of Lando Norris. But Lando fights back and takes back that P7. Brilliant battling going on here between Peter and the AIs. But what the hell has happened here? Has Alex taken Peter out? What was Alex thinking there? A very unlucky time for Peter, which sends him down to P10. He'll have more work to do, but I'm sure he can do it. We'll have to wait and find out, of course. I really want to open my window, but the problem is it's 7:25. I have neighbours. And I can't open it because I'll wake people up. And I know you're probably thinking it's not that late. It is for the neighbours I have. Trust me, it's a pain, but it is what it is. We will carry on and we'll see what happens. I might just have to open my door, let the air in, or something. But let's get back to the action now. I see Preston may have actually slipped out again because he now has a 13.7 second gap. Not a good race for Preston today, and or for McLaren. What has gone wrong with him today? I would normally be asking Mr. Preston, but he's out on track. So it's not gone well for him today at all. Who knows whether he can improve or not? We'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's only lap 12 of 32. Of course, lap 11 for him because he's not passed that line yet. But who knows? We'll have to see what happens, of course. But he does have, correct me if I'm wrong, but 21 laps left to get back up there. So it is very possible for him to do so. But we'll have to wait and see, of course. But now, Peter looks to be catching up to the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc here. Can he get past Leclerc? He goes round on the outside. And gets past Leclerc, cuts that corner slightly, but manages to hold on to that position and keeps P9. But it looks like Charles may be fighting back if he can just pull it back a tiny bit. He can't. Peter holds on to that position nicely. Well done by Peter. He now has a 3.1 second gap to close on Lando Norris for McLaren. Could he send the McLarens even further down? It is very possible. Imagine that, the McLaren's not getting any points today. That would be the ultimate upset for Jamie and Callum here today. So, but it is very possible, unfortunately. But we'll have to wait and see what happens, of course. Who knows? But now, can we just appreciate the gap between Harry and Charlie is a 15.1 second gap. The gap between Charlie and George is an 8.5 second gap. This is utterly major. What the hell is going on here? I don't get it. I really do not get it. It is so hot in here. I do not care right now. I'm opening the damn window. But I'll just have to be a little bit quieter, I guess. But yes, it is what it is. We'll have to wait and see whether these guys can close the gaps or not. It's only lap 13, so we've still got 19 laps left to go. We're closing down the gaps very, very quickly today, aren't we? But you've got to be impressed with George. He's held it since the start. He got a brilliant start. Due to the battle at the start, he managed to get away, and he's just been managing to get away ever since, not letting anyone close that gap whatsoever here. Who knows whether Charlie can catch up or not. Who knows? But we'll have to wait and see. And who knows? But now Charlie trying all he can to catch up, as I said, but I don't think it's going to happen today. Who knows? I was just trying to find things to talk about, really. But Peter now with a 0.6 second gap between him and Lando Norris. Can he send Lando down to P9? Can he make Lando only get 2 points here today if Lando doesn't get up or down even further? I mean, it is very possible that McLaren gets such a low scoring race here today, which again will be the ultimate upset for Callum and Jamie come next race. but it is what it is. Of course, the next race being Miami, a sprint race, so McLaren will have a chance. But now Peter looking on the inside, but it wasn't possible there for him. Going round most corner nicely, sticking closely to Lando, not letting him out of his sights here. Can he find the route past him? Can he find the gap to make it past him? It is very possible here. Who knows if it can happen today or not? But we'll have to wait and find out, of course. Will it be made possible? Peter hopes and thinks that, and hopes so for sure. But it's now lap 15. A 5-second penalty for spinning in the pit lane always calls someone else out. We haven't seen that in a while, but now Charlie gets a 5-second penalty and goes on to what I think is the hards. So getting the pit stop on lap 15. I'm sure the others might look to pit now and see if they can close the gap. Harry now takes P2 due to overtaking Charlie. Of course, Charlie being in the pits, it's slowing him down and it's sending him down a bit. But I'm sure Harry may pit next lap, of course, not pulling the double stack. You know, I think it would have been possible with a 15-second gap that they had. I think it would have been possible. But the Red Bull's choosing not to do it here today. But Peter now up to P6 now, getting past Lando Norris. And of course, due to some of the pits from the AIs getting so high up. Well done to Peter to get high up, that is for sure. Back up to the points. I hear talking outside. That is brilliant, love that. But I better talk a bit more quietly, so I don't, again, upset the neighbours. But now, can Peter get any further up? It is a 2-second gap between Peter and Charlie. I mean, imagine if Peter managed to overtook. I'm messing up my wording so much. This is why I don't do this on my own anymore. I imagine imagine if Peter could overtake Charlie, or even just get in a battle with him. That would be a great battle to see today, that's for sure. And I would definitely enjoy it. But who knows? Again, we'll have to wait and see. But now, just look at this. A 24-second gap. I honestly believe if George lets Harry pit first, George pits, no one's overtaking him. There's no way Harry gets past him. There's no way Charlie gets past him. George will keep that P1 position. I think that's what he's holding out for. I think he's just hopefully holding out and waiting for Harry to pit first. Although, actually, Harry and George are on the hards, which means they're going for the opposite strategy to Charlie, which means they will pit later. I didn't notice that. So, actually, they won't pit anytime soon. They'll probably pit around lap, I'd say 20 something. Maybe 21, 22. Having 10 laps left. Going on the softs. George being in front. I honestly don't see, unless something happens, touch wood it doesn't, because don't want commentators' curse to come into effect for anyone these days. There's no way George can lose this. I know we said the same thing about Callum back in Canada all those weeks ago. I know it's been, how many weeks now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks since Canadian Grand Prix. But I know we said the same thing about Callum away in Canadian Grand Prix, and George ended up winning due to thingy spinning out. But it is what it is. But Harry now pits onto the mediums. Is this a smart move from Harry? Pitting earlier than expected. I didn't expect him to pit anytime soon. Oh, Preston retires from a race. I'm not sure whether that's a DNF. I don't think it is. I think he's just said, look, I'm so far behind. I'm just going, yeah, look, he's still going, which means he has chosen to retire. An unfortunate time for Preston for sure. But it is what it is. We'll have to see what happens. Who knows? But, right, it is time now for Peter to try and close this gap on Charlie. Holding now, that is not Peter. Now holding a 4-second gap. He has to, well, Charlie holding a 4.5 second gap on Peter. Can Peter close that? I mean, it is very possible in the 14 laps left to go. We are closing in on the end very quickly. Quicker than normal, I would say. So, it is what it is. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see what happens here. But now, it is literally again an Alpine Red Bull race. If only they were close from the constructors, eh? I'm pretty sure Alpine have just run away with it. Yeah, they have. By literally 90 points. They've run away with it by 90 points. I'm not saying that's not closable, but I'm just saying this won't affect it at all. Red Bull will not be able to close in on them at all. Like, I know they're not even ahead. I know Alpine technically scored for more points out of them today. But still, it's honestly something. It really is. But we've got... I generally don't think there'll be any more overtakes today. I think it'll be now a case of just waiting it out, you know. And just waiting till the end. Because we're now on lap 19. We've got 13 laps left to go. Yeah, what a great race it has been. All the AIs, of course, getting blue flagged, letting the drivers pass. Well, George at least. I'm sure the others will catch up in no time at all. But why is it? It's just so big gaps between the top four today. I honestly don't get why it is, but it is what it is. You know, we'll take it. But because we have to, obviously. But 5 second time penalty, you can't forget that Charlie, if Peter can close the gap between him and Charlie, which I don't think is going to happen due to Peter pitting now. If Peter or Harry can get between 5 seconds of Charlie, they will overtake him. Don't forget that. They will get the overtake. They will manage it. So, will they look to get in that gap or not? I mean, you're going to have to wait and see. You're going to have to wait and find out, of course. But I believe now with Peter going so far down, number one, we will see overtakes again. Good. I'm glad. And of course, Red Bull will score the most points here today, due to being P2 and P3. Even though you have George P1, the points from P2 and P3 will add up more than the points of P1. Obviously, you know, you kind of see that, don't you? You know, 18 plus 15 is... Can't do maths. Can't do maths. 28. 33 points. You can tell I really can't do maths. Welcome to the life of DC. Not able to count, not able to talk properly because he's constantly stuttering. If I need to be back in season 1 and season 2 again. I mean, that wasn't even that bad for stuttering, really. I don't think season 2 was, really, to be honest. If we look back, but it is what it is. We accept it and we move on. But 12 more laps left to go. We got a bit to go. But now Charlie closing in on George, however, a 4.1 second gap. What has happened to George? Did he spin out or did he pit? I know he pitted onto the mediums. I didn't even notice. But George has pitted onto the mediums, whilst Charlie is on the hards. And you can clearly see, well, actually, no, I was about to say the hards coming into more of a fruition. But on the straights, George is getting more pace out of those mediums, of course, being the faster tyres. So, again, unless anything happens, which, touch wood, it doesn't happen, I don't think there's any way George loses this hit today. And he will extend his championship run by just a few more points. You know, can Charlie truly stop George? That's the question you got to wonder. Actually, that's also something we're going to do. Leave your opinions, leave your choices down in the comment section down below right now on who is winning this championship. And I reckon I can almost predict most of you who actually comment, if any of you do, will say George. But don't forget about Charlie. We know that him and Preston were in a huge battle last season for the World Drivers' Championship, and Charlie managed to prevail the Season 3 World Drivers' Champion. So why the hell can't he this year? You know, I'm not saying George won't win. I'm just saying don't rule out Charlie. You know, because it is very possible for him to catch up, that is for sure. But now Peter up to P8, potentially looking on the outside of Lando Norris, can't get the overtake, but staying very close to the McLaren, hoping to send the McLaren even further down, so they're no longer a threat to Red Bull, helping Red Bull out here. Even more, but going on the outside now, up to P7. George sets fast start with 118.044. We definitely have to look at the fastest stat records and try and get that up. I think that must be something we do next season, because it will take a lot of researching, that's for sure. But now Peter gets the overtake on Lando Norris and gets up to P7. A brilliant overtake for Peter, for sure. Well done to him. Nicely done, that is for sure. Can he catch up to the Mercedes of George Russell and get that overtake as well? I mean, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I think it is very possible for him to do that. But we will have to wait and see what happens here and see whether he can catch up or not. But who knows? But we're going to go quickly up to the top here. It's so separated, ain't it? I don't get... Oh! No, actually, no overtakes happening. I thought that was Peter, but it's not. It's the AIs. It is so separate. Oh, actually, something has happened. Lando Norris, I think, has spun out and had a little accident. Now down to P11, which means if that stays like that, there will be no points for McLaren here today. Not a good time at all for McLaren, especially being only, what, 4 points between McLaren and Red Bull. But now Red Bull will get 33 points, which will extend the gap to 37 points. For McLaren needs to close down within the last 7 races. Is it possible? Leave your opinions and choices down in the comments. You should have predicted I was going to say that from the start. Let us know what you think. Whether McLaren will catch up to Red Bull or whether Red Bull will take second place within Constructors' Championship. I think this will be a close bout to the last second. But who knows, we'll have to wait and see, of course. But now Peter closing in on George Russell, who is currently in a battle with Kevin Magnussen. Will Peter be able to take advantage of the battle with AIs? He doesn't just get one overtake, but he gets 2 up to P5. A brilliant double overtake by Peter there on Kevin and George. Nicely done on the inside of the both of them. Up to P5 to now claim 10 points. Will he be able to claim 12 points and that P4 position here today? I, again, do not think it's out of the realm of possibility. I honestly will say that. With 8 laps left to go, why the hell can't it happen, you know? We'll have to wait and see what happens in the last 8 laps of the Emilia Grand Prix and Massey Yellow Sector 2. What has happened here? I believe it's been a bit of a collision and George Russell has been sent down to P9. A very unlucky time for Mercedes, losing a bit more points, especially for Connor if he ever decides to turn back up again, who knows. But of course Mercedes currently 4th in the Constructors' Championship, leading it quite a bit as Aston Martin is only on 47 points. I know we don't normally talk about the AI teams, but we haven't really got much going on, so you know, why the hell not? You know, let's bring them into the conversation. Let's talk about them a bit more. But right now, we're about to enter the 25th lap as George is about to cross the line again. Just so you know, just thought I'd update you. You know, just in case you needed that update, just in case you felt like you didn't know what was going on and you needed to know, we're about to enter the 25th lap with only 7 laps left to go of this race. I know, 7 laps left to go. It feels like we only just started. But that's what happens when you separate qualifying and the full race into 2 different episodes. Of course, you know, as you can tell, as I said, like last episode yesterday, you know, you can kind of tell that that decision was made halfway through the season, which kind of, you know, added it. when Canada is getting released because, but yeah, that's kind of happened. And it is what it is. Hopefully, it's just better for you guys because it's more content, you know. You know, more days of DFL content. I know you're probably saying, what's the point, you know? Like, you can just have them in one video, one day, but then it's such a long video, you know, you got more time to, you got to spend more time watching it. But by separating it 2 days, it's 2 days of content, of course, you know, and it's less time you got to spend on one day watching something. So really, truly, if you think about it, it benefits you guys. And a quick another update, we're entering lap 26 now, in case, again, you felt like you needed to know that. You know, I know some people feel like you need to know that, so I just thought I'd update you. We have now 6 laps left to go of this race. We're closing in on the end, bit by bit now, people. You know what? You know, I will say it right now, and I know this is getting very random, but again, nothing's going on, so it's kind of difficult to commentate, except for the fact that Peter is catching up to Sebastian Vettel, but hopefully he does catch up very soon, and manages to potentially get the overtake on the AI of Vettel, but who knows, you have to wait and find out for that to happen, but all yellow sector 2 and 3, who is affected here? It's looking like the McLaren again of Lando Norris. Not a good day for McLaren today. It looks also like Yuki Tsunoda, the Alpha Atari. No, it's Lewis Hamilton who has gone out here, which means McLaren will claim 1 point. So at least they're getting a point here today. That is something. Just saying. But back to what I was saying anyway. I know this is very random, but of course you know, it gets very hot in my room right now. But I just cannot wait until it's 40 degrees heat here in England, because it's going to be so much fun. You know, we're still going to do this. We're still going to enjoy it. You know, but you may hear a few fans in the background. You know, just try not to make it obvious, but you know, gotta calm me down somehow. But yes, lap 27 in case you needed to know. We just entered, so we only have 5 laps left to go, counting it down very, very slowly, of course. But now Peter is on the tail of the Aston Martin of Sebastian Vettel. Can he get past him? Can he make this move count? It is very, very possible that Peter can pull this one off if he can get past him here. Will it be accomplished? Will it be complete? Both drivers are on the mediums. No, actually, Vettel's on the hard, sorry. That was a miss. But Vettel is not getting DRS. However, Peter will. He does activate DRS. He goes round, not on the outside, but on the inside of Vettel. And safely, nicely, and very well done, gets the overtake on Sebastian Vettel. Up to P4, claiming now 12 points. Nicely done by Peter to get those points to get back up to P4. That is very good. I just have to say it's, you know, it's clear. But now can Peter catch up to Harry? Although I'd normally say by this point, you probably expected me to say it's within the realm of possibility, but I don't think it is. That's a mistake. My control fell down. We've only got, what, 4 laps left to go. He has a 5.8 second gap, and whereas he's been closing it very well on the AIs, Harry's not an AI. He's a driver, so you never know. I mean, it's now a 6 second gap, so it's showing that gap is slowly growing in some areas, slowly going down in others. I'm stuttering again. This is amazing. Yes, it is what it is. Who knows? But now George, how dominant has George been today? I mean, it's just been something else, hasn't it? It really has. But who knows? It is what it is. I've got a text, I've got an answer. I just realised this one in West Ham against United. That is lovely to see. Callum, I know this is, we recorded this ages ago, but I bet right now when we're recording this, you're really enjoying seeing that score. Of course, Callum being a United fan, in case you all didn't know, he's absolutely loving it. But that is something. Benarama, I did not expect that for sure. But here we are, and it is what it is. But that 5-second time penalty will not come into effect for Charlie, and it is what it is. But we all have an incident to investigate, so I will update you of any changes, either next race or the race after. If anything does change on me, on the scoring, on me, on my positions, you know, because it could very much change. It could very much change if it does. I don't know. I believe the incident Preston may be referring to is the one between him and Charlie. That's the only one I've seen. But yes, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Yes, it is Charlie. It definitely is Charlie that he wants it reviewed. He's just said, with 3 laps left to go, we're closing in on the end, bit by bit. Can George carry this over the line? Can George successfully get this one over the line? I mean, is it really in question anymore? It's now, just to update you all again, you know, just, you know, why not? We're on lap 30 now. With only 2 laps left to go. I know it's amazing, right? But George, slowly but surely, getting through the laps bit by bit, as well as the other guys. But Peter, potentially closing down the gap as well, now down to a 4.8 gap. Could it be done? Could it be not? That's the question. My dog is barking. That is my parents' back, I believe. Is it? I believe so. Not that. Yes, it. Is it? Yes, it is. They are back. So we'll be ending this episode very soon, of course, when it's ended. But now, will Peter be able to catch up to Harry, or will he not? Who knows? I mean, he's just ended lap 30 himself. With only 2 laps left to go, I don't think it's possible. I hate to say this, Peter. I honestly do. But being truthful, you got a 4.5 second gap to cover in 2 laps against Harry. It is very, very, very possible. You know, this really is a nostalgia trip down Season 1 and Season 2 with my parents dropping into my Echo Dot. You know, this really is Season 1 and Season 2 again. It's just amazing, ain't it? But I hope you have all enjoyed this video. It's been kind of a bit messed up, you know, here and there. I don't know why, but everything's kind of gone wrong today for me with him recording. First bit, I didn't start recording. That's what messed up with qualifying. I didn't start recording. That's why you got a bit of a short qualifying. But it is what it is. But now we're on lap 31. And George is halfway through this lap, so he's only really got 1.5 laps left to go now. Will George, well, actually I'm not going to say that, to be fair. George, what a great drive he's managed to do today, to hold it all the way through, not have any threat at all. I think the battle at the start between Charlie, Peter and, was it Preston, definitely helped him. But It is what it is, and George has done very well to hold it. But now lap 32, George enters the final lap of the race, and what a great race it has been for George. As I say, we are going to focus him on him for the final bit. That's for sure. I'm going to close my window because, as you know, the final bit gets very loud. I wouldn't want to annoy the neighbours anymore, that is for sure. But yellow sector 1 here, it looks like a Haas has fallen. No, that is a Ferrari or an Alfa Romeo. One of the two has fallen very far down, but that doesn't really affect things, to be fair. Our driver's not getting affected, but George potentially about to lap for McLaren of Lando Norris to really put salt in the wound to McLaren today. Definitely an unlucky time for McLaren and Preston today, but who knows whether they can come back next race and score more points. But people, we are coming down to the final few laps of this race. Not final few laps, final few corners of this race. George goes round the final corner, and to stop Peter's current streak of wins within the season. He takes a win at the Emilia Grand Prix to extend his championship reign by only 5 more points. Not 5. Why can't I do math? 7 more points. Well done to George today to take the P1 chart. He takes P2, but 5 second time penalty, but that won't affect anything due to Harry having a 27-second gap. But Charlie may have a penalty coming his way potentially. We'll have to review footage and I'll let you know. I'll update you, of course. But Harry is now about to cross the line with Peter on his back. Unfortunately, Peter will not be able to take advantage to get P3. So Harry finishes P3 and Peter finishes P4. What a great race it's been, especially from George today to hold P1 the entire time, straight from the start. And thank you for joining us. Driver day, of course, goes to Peter for Keek and shoving down, but Keek come back up. And here comes George for the first time in a while. In the last, when was the last time he won a race? I can't even remember. I believe it probably was, actually, it was, when was the last time he won a race? Canada. So the first time since Canada, he is coming out to win the race on the first place spot on the podium. Of course, with Charlie on his right, Harry on his Charlie on his left, Harry on his right. The 2 Red Bulls getting a P2, P3. Well done to George today and the 2 Red Bulls. But here is your leaderboard rundown, very quick one for sure. George takes P1, Charlie takes P2, but that might not change. I'll let you know. Of course, Harry takes P3, Charlie in P4, Charlie in P4. No, Charlie in P2 and Peter in P4. And unfortunately, Preston did DNF today. Thank you for watching this episode. We'll be right back for you next time with the next episode. See you next time, people. Goodbye.